Welcome to Yugoslavia, or more appropriately, Serbia. Whatever the case may be, the year is 1999, and radical Serb forces within the country have managed to unify and reinstate the Republic of Yugoslavia. Unfortunately, this is very bad news for the Croats, the Bosnians, and the Albanians, who are also assisting us in this particular conflict, as well as the Montenegrins, as you can see, but they have remained somewhat neutral. They're still sending forces, but not directly involved in the war. And as you can see, we have NATO forces all over the place. Tremendous amount of different mech brigades, tank brigades, etc. So this first move is going to be a pretty massive push in an attempt to, of course, break the Serb forces and bring stability to the country. Now, we have gotten an okay from the UN to begin moving and attacking the enemy, and we've got some assistance here also from many of the local forces. So as you can see, the Macedonians are fighting alongside us. We also have KLA forces, and despite being in Albania, I'm pretty sure that KLA are Kosovo forces, but I could be mistaken. Nonetheless, they seem to be irregulars. We can see all of their combat potential up here, and their proficiency is not the best, so again, maybe irregular troops, but I want to make some use of them and send them into battle, try and get them to assist us with these first attacks. Now, we also have the awesome support of the NATO Air Force, and we're going to be using it if we intend to get anything resembling a victory here. But I think these initial attacks have to be extremely violent, extremely quick, and we need to completely just destroy the Serb military here on the border and start pushing towards the cities. Now, you may be asking, what cities are we going for? Well, very clearly up here in the north, we've got the capital of Belgrade, and we've also got Gornji Milovac. It's really just more of a town, and Novi Pazar. If we go over here, there is also the contested area of Kosovo, which is absolutely fascinating. Of course, the Serbs have taken it, and there's definitely going to be some Kosovo soldiers trying to assist us in taking it back. Now, on that particular movement, we actually got hit by enemy aircraft, and yes, our aircraft will also react to Serb movement, but the same is going to be true coming our way. And getting into the mountains here is going to be nearly impossible with any of our armor, so it might actually not be a bad idea to send these irregulars through and just kind of get stuck in with the enemy wherever we can. We're going to begin some attacks here, but again, I want to make sure that the enemy is fairly surrounded. Looks to be Serb mountain infantry, and I don't want to commit every single one of our units to it. As you can see, we also have a lot of air support, so let's go ahead and see what we can do just with the help of these guerrillas, as well as, of course, our armored units here. Once we get into the fighting, guys, we're going to be able to take a look and see just exactly what sort of vehicles and air support we're using. I can't wait. First things first, I think we can go ahead and bring in a NATO Eagle Air Force. This is going to be helicopter support, I believe. And maybe one of these AEW stealth fighter bombers to assist. Why not? So let's hope that that's sufficient to attack that area. I also want to hit them right here and pretty much just wipe out those border defenses. Now, they've got much stronger defenses, such as armored anti-tank over here, that we're going to have to worry about later. But for now, let's really keep our focus here on the sort of frontline areas before we get too concerned. Yep. I'm actually going to bring in the 509th Bomber Wing and the 5th Bomber Wing here. And we're just going to keep doing this all along the line. Now, there's an enemy, an armored anti-tank there. Unfortunately, we mostly have, how can I put this, mechanized vehicles. So we're going to go ahead and deploy our local reserve. This means if we have any men on the actual truck, then they'll, of course, immediately deploy here. So I'm going to keep him right there. I don't even think I want to attack that armored anti-tank. But we'd probably wipe them out pretty quickly. Instead, let's focus on the mountain infantry units, these Serb mountain infantry units. And I think we can just kind of roll over them. I'm not even going to bring in any air support. In fact, now that I think about it, we can use the air support to take out the armored anti-tank here. So let me move in here. Now, that's actually going to be a village that we're going to be striking, so obviously we want our men to be careful, but honestly, whatever it takes to get into the fight and get a victory. And a quick solution here to our current problem, of course. So let's go for it. It is, of course, risky. And some of these guys are already involved in attacks. I don't want to use the armored vehicle here. I'll use the tank. And I'm going to bring in some Norwegian air support. Thank you to our Norwegian friends. An RAF Tornado, so British air support as well. And an Italian F-104. Just great. And really, I want to spread around this bomber support as much as I can. We really don't want to abuse it if we don't have to. Nevertheless, I am hugging this area here because I want to push through as quickly as possible. Once we actually bust through the mountain infantry, we're going to head directly to Uroševac. And I'm actually going to have our Macedonian friends start attacking over here in the south to make that even more likely. See, not all of these guys will be getting down to combat right away. It's going to take some time. We're just getting ready on the border. These units are like helicopter units. I think actually Falcon Force, no, this is air cavalry. So we might be able to actually drop them off. Disembark. Yep. And we'll once again deploy the local reserve. Just sort of keep them behind the line for now. Alright, not so bad. So I think at least in this area of the front, we've pretty much done what we need to do. We do also have an MEU Special Forces unit, SOC, I believe. Start pushing them forward. We're definitely going to be using them for things in the future. And look at that. We did get hit by an enemy MiG, it looks like. We'll have to see at the end of the turn if we actually had any losses. But keep in mind, the Yugoslavians do still have a functioning air force. Now, I'm hoping that our air force is going to be able to take them out here in the next couple of turns. But we don't know that for sure. For now, though, let's take our units over here, and as you can see, some of these are just standard NATO units. Some of them are, of course, allies. And let me just check here. HCMR, KRH. So I think this is Macedonian, but it could be, who knows, Turkish. We just don't know. There's a number of different factions involved in this attack. So we're going to push forward. These guys seem very mobile. Unfortunately, the mountainous terrain here in Serbia makes taking each individual village quite a challenge. It does allow us to use our artillery in really easy situations, though. Like right there, for instance. Alright, so let's charge in here, plan an attack. And I'm going to bring in some German air support. Another French Mirage. Let's bring in some Belgian air support. And a Roosevelt CAG. Not even sure what this is, but I'm sure it can help us in this push. And every single one of our allies are entitled to this sort of support if we can offer it. Kind of want to send one of these units over here. I don't like that unit just being behind our line. So I'm actually going to push over here with the 7th Armored Brigade. I'll send another unit over here, as a matter of fact. A little risky, but I'm going to push over here without the other two. We'll even send in the engineers. You can see an enemy HQ right here, and obviously taking one of these Serb generals prisoner would be tremendous for us. So once again, we're going in with what I'm considering the Macedonian forces. Now, unfortunately, very poor attack chance. But let's send in a bunch of bombers here and see if that changes. And I believe no matter what that says, this will be successful because of the bombers here. Let's hope so. I'm taking quite a risk. I've seen this happen before, though. See if we can plan an attack with the remaining air support. And I have to say, it's looking pretty rough here. Yep, chance of success is very poor. What about with that support? Alright, fair enough. You know what? I'm going to trust them. We're going to stop that attack entirely. On this front, we're just going to hold on, and I'm just hoping that the enemy doesn't do any sort of counterattack. In fact, we've got some tanks here. We can move them up. One of the enemies attacking us already. That's always rough. Deploy the local reserve. We've got some additional units here, recon units, so let's push them forward. We might want to rethink this actual attack. We could potentially manage in taking the area. But again, the 11 on 7, I mean, this is a really strong unit right here. But I don't think he can withstand every single one of these guys attacking. Unfortunately, not all of them can attack this turn. That's the unfortunate part here. But you know what? I'm doing it, man. I'm going through, especially on that one. I'm going through with it. We're diverting all that air support from the east. So we're not going to be using it anyway. That's right, Novi Pazar. Nothing we can do about it right now. And it does look like Montenegro is part of Yugoslavia. Now, we're not actually attacking them in this particular war, but they are definitely part of Yugoslavia. So let's head out here from Bosnia. Of course, Serbia's immortal enemy, pardon me. So, of course, we don't want to get stuck in here. The Serbs are not going to be friendly to any troops exiting Bosnia, I can be sure of that. Let's move back with the Light Air Brigade and just kind of hold that bridge. Now, if we had an engineer unit, we could also destroy the bridge. Also an option. For now, I'm just going to set my infantry around this way. Got a support helicopter as well. I think there I'm just going to kind of hold on a bit. Now over here, I feel like we could almost certainly press through, but we've got an additional enemy unit to the south, and I'm even going to dedicate the HQ to this attack if I have to, because we've got to get through. And essentially, you know, create, not a beachhead, but just the land-based equivalent of a beachhead, an opening here. So there we go. We'll bring in the attacks, the support helicopters as well. No, they're not coming along. It says very poor, but once again, I don't believe that to be the case. I think we're going to bust on through here. Now, the interesting thing about Vizhnaya is there's only one exit here, and that's to the south. So if we want to take this area, then we certainly need to wipe out both of these areas of resistance. Move this guy right here, group move them there. We want to focus entirely on the enemy. Now, we might not be able to attack with all units this turn. Yeah, so I'm not even going to worry about it. That's the one area I am going to hold off, although I don't like to hold off with my standard NATO units. Nonetheless, guys, let's see how this combat goes. Only an attack will tell. First push. Alright, let's take a look at the losses on the defending side. Not a lot, I have to say. So 2 engineer squads, 2 trucks with 37mm cannons, SPOGs. Let's see how many we lost here on the attack. And again, not many on our side either, although losing a light armor truck is no fun. A Stinger and a Javelin. This does seem to be very modern combat, so of course as soon as one side sees that they could be losing, the attack ends right there. Alright, now this time, guys, our Italian F-104s, our RAF Tornadoes, even our well, a bunch of our planes attacked, but the Yugoslavian YAFs actually intercepted a few of these planes, and unfortunately, with our attack, the town of Gorožup has been reduced to ruins. I don't know if that's a war crime, but we essentially just destroyed a town with a bomber strike. Could have also been the enemy, because they did support those attacks. Let's take a look here. These are the enemy losses, and some wheeled SPOGs. Quite a few SPOGs on the ground as well. As for our side, we lost 6 Bradleys, definitely a huge loss, 3 Tornadoes and a Falcon, as well as a bunch of other vehicles here. Yeah, definitely a nasty loss for our side. Underestimating the Serbs a bit. We've got to approach the next area a little more carefully. Now, over here, we just got a victory. So this should come out quite a bit better for us. But as you can see, the Serbians are doing a light attack focus, which means that, or a light battle focus, excuse me, which means that if they start taking, like, minimal casualties, they fall back almost immediately. Over here, though, doing some serious damage. And the good thing is we can stand to lose a lot more men than they can. It just doesn't look good in the newspaper. That makes a lot more sense in terms of an attack, although still losing 7 assault squads and some tanks never feels good. But we have taken the location, and I want to see how these irregulars perform in battle. Here we go. Hey, nice! We just liberated a town! Alright, folks, let's make sure that there's no messages that this particular town is destroyed. Pretty nice. Our men actually did a pretty nice job here. Again, taking out those SAMs and those SPOGs is helping quite a bit, I believe. Let's see, what about the attacking casualties? And that's much more like it. So this time we definitely came out with fewer casualties than the enemy. This is where I said we would still come out on top. And I was right. I told you guys, you can't always trust the AI prediction. It's really a prediction for a reason. In this case, I knew that we were going to overwhelm the enemy, but as we move through this campaign, that is not going to be the case. In fact, I think at some point, they might get some support from Russia. We'll see what happens. Nicely done, boys. Well done! So there we go. Actually, really nicely done by our guerrilla forces here. And again, not huge amount of losses on the enemy side. We can also see what kind of aircraft they're using, guys. MiG-21 fish beds and G4 Super Galebs. Not familiar with the Super Galeb. Nonetheless, they're doing damn well. And they may have actually withstood this attack here, even with the air support. Oh no, we got it. Well done, Macedonia. Just take a look there. Oh, devastating attack there. I think so far our Macedonians, guys, give it to the Macedonians in the chat, or excuse me, in the comments, because the Macedonians were the heroes of this battle. Look at that. 13 assault AT squads destroyed, a number of engineers, 6 machine guns, 7 wheeled SPOGs, 81mm mortars destroyed, guys. MP SAMs, 8 of them. Just wonderful, wonderul stuff. Let's see how many men they lost. Still a few losses, but not nearly as many as the Serbs. I guess the Macedonians are not friendly with the Serbs. I'm pretty familiar with the relationship the Croatians and the Bosnians have with the Serbs, but not the Macedonians. Well done, guys. Damn well done. We followed up with that attack. I love it. Keep it going. 20% of my turn remains. So yeah, there's not going to be much going on during my turn here. Could still potentially move forward with some of these units. Yeah, actually, I didn't think we'd be able to get an additional attack, but I forget that this is modern war. So let's do this. Just wipe out some additional Serb stragglers. Anybody that's still behind and trying to stop us from advancing here. But as you can see, not all of our guys are going to be able to keep pushing forward because we only have 20% of our turn remaining. Alright, we're going to call Broken Arrow in this location. Use these units here. The enemy has a lot, and I mean a lot, of armored vehicles there. Let's just make sure it's not an anti-air vehicle. No, it's a mechanized vehicle of some sort. Could be just a group of SPOGs. We've had a lot of luck with them in the past. It says likelihood of success is very poor, but again, I am not trusting the AI on that one. We didn't trust them the first time, and we were absolutely correct not to. And as you can see, as the Serbs are moving, we are also getting that reaction strike with our own aircraft, which I absolutely love. And did you guys see all of our guys attacking there? Look at how many planes we brought in. Unfortunately, quite a few losses on the Kiowas, the Mirages. The enemy definitely had some AA there. So I think that the thing saying that, you know, we're going to have heavy losses and lose, it's really we're going to have heavy losses. We want to keep that in mind for the future and maybe try not to rely on the air attack too much. But this is without a doubt a major war at this point. There we go, liberating another city. Unfortunately, after the liberation, one of our planes thought it would be a good idea to attack. The NATO Turkish squadron actually struck the area. unnecessarily there at the end. Well, I think they were trying to probably hit Serb stragglers, and that was a very nice bombardment there, taking out quite a few of the Serb weapons. Now, what I'm concerned about is it looks like they're using a potential Soviet strategy, sort of against the German blitzkrieg, and keeping a secondary line of defense back here. I don't know if you guys see those tank stacks. That's got me worried. But damaging these initial units, I think, is going to be very helpful. Now, it's time for the Serbs to attack us. Let's see exactly what they do. Looks like they're just going for airstrikes at the moment. Here we go, folks. Alright, there we go. So a bunch of different areas have been reduced to ruins, but we have captured Kasanic and Jasince. I think Jasince is one of the few places that hasn't been completely reduced to ruins. But hold on a second. We've got to turn this. Yeah, you should play computer, man. There we go. Alright, let's see what they do. And here we go. Yugoslavia moving forward, immediately pushing back the irregulars, man. Immediately. See those explosions as they're moving, that's just letting you know that our bombers are striking them during this phase. Man, I can't believe I stayed away from this game so long. Hopefully our bombers can really soften them up. After that first day of the invasion, an absolutely brutal day for everybody involved. I'm gonna get a little bit of revenge. If you guys like this game, let me know in the comments down below, guys. And as always, it really helps when you hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. It's one of the few ways that we can keep this channel going, so please help us out. And feel free to back some game. We need as much help as we can get. I think we can succeed with this invasion, but I'd love some additional support from you guys. Our Air Force is quite strong, no matter what you say, because we're not only getting standard NATO air support, but also Turkish air support. I don't believe at this point they were yet a NATO ally. They want to destroy the Serbs just as much as we do, since they're big friends with the Bosnians, so let's just hope that air support comes in handy. But here we go. Even enemy HQs are moving around, and it looks like a lot of the enemy is falling back from the front line. But at least here on the Macedonian front, I think it looks like they want revenge themselves, because they are trying to counterattack against the Macedonians. They're massing on that front, or maybe they just fear them. The other issue is they don't want to lose Urosevac to our forces. We've got their number, and we're calling in that nice NATO money. Not even the HQs are safe, and the Serbs know it, but they still have a tremendous amount of units concentrated around the capital of Belgrade. It looks though like they're actually leaving the major cities like Markovac. I think they think that's going to save them, or maybe they're just starting to mass on the front line. Got no chance, Serbs. No way. We've got your number. Red units are. Maybe somebody more familiar with the Operational Level Wargame can let us know. engagement are simple. If we spot Serb military, we strike it. Missile artillery is going to be used against our Air Force in the future. So again, we can't rely entirely on the Air Force to win this. There's just no way. One of the largest airstrikes possible, my goodness. So let's take a look here. These are our losses. Looks like a pretty standard airstrike. And again, another Yugoslavian airstrike here, actually knocking out quite a few of our vehicles. Let's take a look here and see if we manage to knock out any of their air units. I don't think so. And these are enemy jet bombers. Let's take a look at that. Approximate equipment and personnel losses. Let's take a look. Yeah, nothing serious there, and I don't think we're seeing the air losses, but for sure they have to have some losses there. You know what I think that is, actually? I think that's an accidental bombing by our own Air Force, is what I honestly think that was, because we didn't get a visual of their target at all, which is just beautiful. The possibilities in the Operational Art of War 4, guys, are nearly endless. They really are. Now, that's definitely an enemy bombardment location trying to knock out that successful push in the south. See if we knocked out. No. Once again, not seeing those bombing targets. That could be stealth bombers. The fact that the enemy has stealth bombers has me completely terrified. They've got helicopters. They've got a lot of new equipment. Remember, this is 1999. So if they're getting all of their equipment from the Russians or the Chinese, they're going to be pretty up to date. The lucky thing is that their bombings are not very effective. In fact, with that bombing, they hit their own light armor truck. Not the most effective, but still useful for sure. Still a lot of movement by armored and mechanized artillery here, guys, on the Serb side. And they've actually pushed us back a little bit over there on the Montenegrin front. Or actually, not the Montenegrin front, the Macedonian front. It's hard to remember all these Balkan locations. It's like we're playing GeoGuessr. There we go. Definitely a nice little Air Force they've got going there. Can't lie, but actually that's an artillery strike right there. In this case, they actually did send in a motorized brigade to attack, but our strong Macedonians held them off, guys, and actually managed to inflict quite a few losses on the enemy, although these are very even losses. Seems to be fairly light combat, all things considered, when we can wipe them out in one battle and vice versa, if we really wanted to. Direct strike above Nice. I'm hoping that that works out for us. And just to give you guys an idea of these bombardments, it gives us an idea of the enemy loss here, which I think is really cool. So if we click over here, it's not currently under our control, but we could check out essentially how many losses there were on the ground. I just think this is a really nice touch. 19 battles happened, and in this case, only one of the battles was the enemy actually attacking us. And look at that. We've got some reinforcements, man. That is good news. Refugees clog the roads in Kosovo. June 2nd, guys. Absolutely unbelievable. Definitely read that if you guys have a chance. Go through some of the stuff in the manual. It's very helpful. Not every battle has the same rules, but most of them do. And I can't wait to continue this attack. But let me know how you guys think it's going. And if you'd like to see more, I would be more than happy to continue playing. It's just a blast, man. What can I say? Can't forget to bring our SOG boys into the fight here. And maybe we'll bring them right here to the front lines. But I think we're going to need to do another attack, really smash the Serbs. We've got a lot of units here defending, especially against the irregulars. And I'm thinking if we could just meet up over here with our Macedonian friends, we could capture a whole bunch of the Serb military. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Let's see if we can't finish.